So my whole Linux journey started off with my 2017 Razer Blade Stealth, and I made a video a couple months ago talking all about it. I love it. The Linux experience is great, but I'm a Mac user. Since 2015, that's when I got my first MacBook. There's just something about how Apple designs things and how Apple does things that I'm a fan of. The way they make their keyboards, how their keyboards feel, their trackpads, the design of everything, the design of their laptops in general, I'm just a fan of. There's a lot of Windows laptops where I've seen them, and I'm like, I could kind of move over to that side. But all in all, they kind of sucked me in, they trapped me, and I am a MacBook fan. If they sucked me in, what could I say? I'm a victim here, okay? So that got me thinking, can I blend my newfound love for Linux and my love of Apple hardware into one? Are they gonna mesh well together? Are they gonna play nicely together? And that was the journey that I embarked myself into. And does that even make sense? My main machine is a 16-inch M2 MacBook Pro. And if there's any combo that's not gonna work well, it's Apple Silicon and Linux. There is a distro that supports Apple Silicon, and we're going to talk about that later on in the video, but fortunately for me, I had a 2019 Intel MacBook Pro that was perfect for this little project. But there was still one problem. It contains Apple's T2 chip. I'm not going to run through what the T2 chip is, mainly because I don't understand most of it myself, but it's a security chip, it's tied into a lot of things, and it gives us more limitations. Through some digging, I found the T2 Linux project. Now, this is a website that shows you how to install a couple different distros on your T2 Mac. Perfect. It's compatible with a few different distros. You've got Ubuntu, you've got Arch Linux, you've got Endeavor OS, and I believe Nix OS as well. I think you could try out different distros, but for the main part, those are the ones that are gonna work a lot better than anything else. I landed on Endeavor OS mainly because it was one I was keeping my eye on. It's Arch based, so it's kind of gonna push me more into learning the ropes of Linux. The process of installing Endeavor OS on my MacBook wasn't much different than installing it on my Razer Blade or any other Windows-based PC. You download the latest ISO, you make a bootable USB. The only difference is that you're gonna need to turn off Secure Boot and allow your Mac to boot from a USB. By default, it's not gonna let you do it until you turn those settings on. But once that's on, or once those security settings are off, you're in the money. That's pretty much all you have to do. Once that's off, you go through the whole process of downloading the Linux distro like you've guys probably seen countless times before. If not, there's a bunch of videos that could show you and help you kind of a first hands-on thing. I'm not the first person to do this, just speaking about my experience on it. Once you boot from USB, it's basically a regular Linux install, so you kind of just go through the motions. Once everything was installed and it rebooted, it was very weird to see everything working. The keyboard worked, the trackpad worked, the gestures worked, the speakers, the ports, even the touch bar worked. The freaking touch bar that Apple couldn't even get working properly worked in Endeavor OS. So now I'm excited, right? I'm like, nice, I got like a MacBook Linux computer. This is perfect because I love the build quality of it. I love that design, that Apple, like I said in the beginning of the video, I love that Apple treatment. I love how they do things. But now I have that freedom of Linux. I have the open source ability of Linux. That doesn't make sense. I had the freedom of Linux, right? I installed Flatpak. I was cooking. I was getting into the motions of getting this ready, as trying as best as possible to make it my main laptop. To replace AirDrop, I got Local Send. Works with my iPhone. I could send any file back and forth. I don't have to make an account. That's kind of crazy. So my Linux MacBook experience was going pretty good. I had apps I could install. I had Local Send. I'm typing, everything's working. I'm using gestures. I'm customizing my desktop. But every time I did something, the fans kicked in full blast. And I mean anything. I open Steam, I open the settings and start changing themes or anything like that. I open the Zen browser, go on YouTube. The fans kick in for almost everything. And I think this is more of a flaw in Apple's design because this era of MacBook had horrible thermals. So I think it has more to do with the heat not being able to dissipate and cool off fast enough and it triggering the fans to go on. For general purpose tasks, it's great. I love it. I'm a huge fan of Notion, so a lot of the times that's what I'm doing on this. Unfortunately, they don't have a Linux app, so I just do it within the browser. But I could get all my stuff done, plan out videos, I could reply to emails, all with kind of that lightweight feeling of Linux, which is what I'm a big fan of. I don't like the bloat of any other software or any other OS rather. Linux feels almost premium because it's like, it's minimal and it really is your OS. The freedom of Linux without any bloat from any OS, without having to just see a bunch of pop-ups to log into Microsoft OneDrive or upgrade to macOS Tahoe or something like that. It's very light and it really is more so your OS than using some other corporate company's OS. I did test out gaming, not because I want to game on my laptop, but just because it's a good kind of indicator for performance. What I do game on is my Steam Deck back there. So I am a Linux gamer. And so I was like, this should handle it pretty well. All the games I play on my Steam Deck, I could probably play on this. And I was completely and utterly wrong. I don't know if it's the custom kernel developed for this. I don't know if it's a distro thing. I don't know if it's a compatibility thing. I don't even know if it's a performance thing. But I thought with dedicated graphics on this MacBook that it would handle games pretty well. I can't run Arc Raiders. I can't run Spider-Man. I can't run Need for Speed Heat anywhere close to how my Steam Deck runs it, which is very weird because the Steam Deck on paper should be a lot worse than a computer with a dedicated graphics card. They'll run on the Linux MacBook, but they won't run well to the point where it's almost not playable. So if you're just looking one direction, moving around, it'll kind of be smooth for a little bit. And then you turn around and it'll just be lag city. You can't play. If you're in a PvP match, you're done. On a side note, I think this just goes to show how well the Steam Deck is optimized. So it's got a custom Linux distro for itself with a custom developed chip. Beautiful. And it outperforms an older MacBook with a dedicated GPU. Go figures. I wouldn't have guessed that. The only thing that makes this Linux MacBook a pain to use and not very suited for everyday life or everyday usage is the fact that the hibernate feature doesn't work. So every time you close the lid, it won't actually suspend anything and it'll just kind of panic and keep itself on fully. And then when you open the lid, it won't know what to do and you got to force restart it. So that's kind of a pain. Basically, every time you want to stop using it, you got to shut it down and turn it on every time. For me, that's a very important feature because most of the time I'm not turning off my computer. I'm just closing the lid and opening the lid when I need it. And it doesn't work at all with this. I do still use it and I do like using it because it does give me that Apple feel with that freedom of Linux. And I love seeing a Linux desktop on a MacBook. It's just kind of a cool thing. But it got me thinking, can Linux be a very viable thing, especially for the new Apple Silicon Macs? There's actually a community developed distro called Asahi Linux, and they specialize in bringing Linux to Apple Silicon Macs. Right now, it's only compatible with the M1 and M2 chips, but in the future, as they bring more people on their team, I could really see this as an alternative to ditching Mac OS, the people who want a Apple hardware like myself, but want that Linux freedom. As they work on it, as they iron out all the kinks, the wrinkles, whatever you want to call it, it could really be a viable option. Not just that, but Ubuntu also has an ARM version. So I could easily see either them releasing some special Apple Silicon version or a community-based team of devs taking that version, kind of tweaking it to make it compatible with Apple Silicon, and boom, now you have a stable version of Ubuntu on a modern MacBook. For now, if you have an Apple Silicon Mac and you want to try out Linux, the best way to do so is to install it on a virtual machine. Like I said, Ubuntu has an ARM version, so you could just download ISO, put it into a virtual machine, and boom, you're up and started in like 5 minutes. That's actually something I run on my M2 MacBook Pro because it is super cool to see a modern Mac running Linux. It might be a nerdy thing, but once you see it, you're like, damn, that's actually cool. And then you realize it's running within Mac OS. And then you start rethinking your life because iMessage is popping up and it's functional, it works. But like realistically, I'm not going to do all my work within a virtual machine. It's just like a fun thing to get started with. I think the lesson learned with this project is that the best Linux laptop is probably not a MacBook, and it's probably a Windows manufactured PC. So like a ThinkPad, I know the ThinkPads are really great. I've been looking at the T480Ss, the T14s are really good. I think all you guys can give me better recommendations in the comments, but those are probably going to be your best bet. The hibernate function works on my Razer Blade Stealth. It never worked on the MacBook. So it's little things like that that make the Windows manufactured PCs a lot better for running Linux. Just it must be a compatibility thing. It must be that those are all manufactured with the intent of putting an OS on it rather than Apple developing everything and knowing to lock down certain systems. So that basically wraps up the video. If you're someone who has one of these era MacBooks and you want to install Linux on it, I say go for it. Don't be afraid. There's a bunch of resources online that can help you. There's a bunch of videos on YouTube. If I could do it, you could do it. So don't be intimidated. And for any of you guys who are diehard Linux users, let me know in the comments below. I want to hear from you. What is your what is your favorite distro? What distro are you using? And what's the best laptop to get if someone wants to get farther into that world of Linux? So I want to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.